Are your thumbnails stopping you from making money? Well, recently, thousands of creators applied to be roasted by me on this channel, and most of them are making mistakes that stop their viewers clicking, meaning they'll waste time making a video that will never generate them consistent views and sales. So today, I'm going to roast 3 channels' thumbnails and show you how to fix their image problems that you most likely have too, using some tricks that have generated me millions of dollars and over 40 million views. And just to make this more interesting, I built my clients an AI bot that points out thumbnail mistakes, and I'm going to see if it's better than me at analyzing images, and every time I miss something the bot points out that is correct, I'm going to give the person I'm reviewing $1,000. Is this a good idea? Nah, the bot's not going to be as good as me. So this is our first channel, Fitness Freedom Athletics. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick on this thumbnail here, and I am going to point out all the problems, then I'm going to remake it. So let's start with the problems. All right, well, firstly, what is that title? If you can't read a title in a split second, that is game over. This has got like 1, 2, 3 parts to it. Just call this the best beginner TRX shoulder strengthening workout. Not the best title, but it's better than what you've got. Or this 15-minute TRX workout will transform shoulder strength, something like that. So the first thumbnail mistake people always make is overcrowding. And if we look at your thumbnail, well, a thumbnail isn't a book, Adam. It shouldn't have so much text. I'm wondering when the chapter ends. It's a hook, and that should be an instant thing. So we've got way too much text we've got rid of. Then we have hierarchy. This is a mistake. So a hierarchy is basically the thing that needs to stick out first. And if that thing is wrong or nothing sticks out, it doesn't work. So from a hierarchy point of view, the stronger shoulders kind of pops more here as it's got that contrast on the white. So it kind of works, but there's still a lot going on. All right, so the next mistake people make is font and like text. Now, you've used a nice bold font here, which is great, but the thinner one's way harder to read. So just use one font, like do less work. The next mistake is people overly use like gradients and effects, and it cheapens the image and makes things really distracting. So you can be really lazy, but you've not really got any effects or weird stuff here. It's kind of a boring image, which is good. Less is more. The next thing I call the inside joke. So an inside joke is a mistake people make all the time, where they show the thing that's in the video in the thumbnail, but you only know what is in the video when you've watched it. So the thumbnail's confusing, it makes no sense. So you need to make sure you never assume the viewers know what the content of the video is, but you haven't made that mistake. The next mistake I call emotional consistency. That's basically, does the emotion in the thumbnail make sense? If it's like 5 big mistakes that wreck your business and you're like, it makes no sense. Then we look at the big mistake of clarity, curiosity, and readability. So curiosity is the thing that gets a click. And if I look at this thumbnail, nothing is making me curious. And there's too much text, so yeah. And then we have the next mistake, which is spacing. So people often just like ram stuff close to the edge, and they put stuff in the bottom right corner when the little stamp covers it, so that wrecks readability. So looking here, challenge is almost covered up, so be careful. It's not the best use of space. We want a thumbnail to use as much of the space as possible as well, without it feeling cluttered. So that's me scoring the fun on the mistakes. Let's run it through the AI and see if I missed anything and have to give up some moolah. All right, so let's see. Overcrowding. It's saying it's minimal, which it kind of is. It's saying you should remove stuff you don't need or make the text smaller. I don't agree. That's not the best. Hierarchy. The trainer is clearly the focal point in the text. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could argue that here's the focal point, but really, we don't want you to be the focal point. We want the text or the TRX or a result to be the focal point. So although the bot's looking at the design and saying there is a focal point, I don't think that's the best advice, because what you really need to do is work out what the first thing your viewers want to see is, and it's probably not your face. No offense. All right, there's 6 words. 2 stronger shoulder, 2x workout. Yep, so it's called too much text, like I said. Use of effects, background nutrients doesn't distract. That's good, no glows. No inside joke, correct. Emotional consistency. Yep, I got that right too. So did the AI. Image quality is nice and high crisp. Large, bold font on constant button is easy to read. Yes, it's not picked up on some of the things I did. Spacing, it's saying it's good. It's kind of right. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and fix all these problems, and I'm going to come back, and I am going to show you how I would maybe make these thumbnails. Keep in mind, I haven't got that long to do this. All right, so to do this, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to raid his channel, and look at this, Mr. Hunker Hunker. He's got his shirt off in all of his outliers on his top, but now he doesn't. This body you have, sir, is called a result. Use it, because it gets clicks. Also, oh, hang on, you literally have a TRX shoulder video with 40,000 views, and then you made this one recently. So before I do this, wait, what are you doing? Your old videos look so much better than your new ones. This one feels like a gym pro, aspirational. This one feels more like nursing home. So, I'm gonna go back to what worked for you before. Like, don't change it if it's not broken. Man, your channel's getting worse, stop it. Right, okay, so I've done them. So I cut out one of your bodies from this image, plonked it on a dark background, Lovely jubbly. And then I've highlighted just shoulders, which is what I've stolen from Jeremy Ether and Jeff Nippard. They use red. I thought maybe we could try some yellows, different things. And then just a bit of copy. It says insane shoulders. Now, it's not the best copy, but it gets attention, right? I would probably write something different to that. And then I'd probably think, which one of these am I going to throw in the split tester? And I reckon I'd probably try one of those. I also made a different concept because the problem with this one is there's no TRX in it, right? So we're showing the result, but not the TRX, and I want that visual context. So, sorry, I can't see colors when I've got these on. They're eye-straying glasses, not fashion accessories. So this top row, I'm not a big fan of this, but what I've tried to do here is bring the TRX in because we want that visual context for TRX fans. And I've just written shoulders. It's not the best, but I actually noticed in the fitness niche, it's kind of all they did. So I think what I'd do is I'd throw into the split tester, this one, because it's got that TRX vibe. This one, maybe this one or this one. And that's it. We've gone from this to this. Okay, hopefully you can see the difference there. We're ticking things off. So now let's move on to our next contestant. This channel said their main problem was consistent views. And I know why, sir, because your thumbnails suck. So let's look at the top videos in your channel here, right? The top-down keyboard works. This new one that we're going to analyze? I don't know, man. Let's just run it through my checklist. So firstly, overcrowded. Well, yeah, look how busy it is with all the lines in the background and the piano lines and all the text. Like, what the hell? Hierarchy and layout. So the eye for me goes to the stop sign, but I don't know, and it kind of distracts from the piano. Like, we want to see the piano. The font and text, I think the font actually works. Use of effects, there's no real effects here. There's a bit of a gradient in the right corner, but I don't think it's too offensive. No inside joke, so we know it makes sense. Emotional consistency, I think your face is all right. What a compliment, your face is all right. We can read it, the quality's high. In terms of clarity and curiosity, bit of curiosity, like why should I stop boring warm-ups? So that works. Spacing, the text is covered up by the little stamp. We don't want anything in the bottom right corner. So let's go and run it through the bot and see if I missed anything. All right, so we've got, it's saying it's overcrowded, which we agree on. Font and text, the text is quite long. It's the, no, I didn't pull that out and I knew it as well. There's too much text. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fuck. I'll email you after this and send me your bank account. You, sir, just won $1,000. All right, use of effects. It's saying the background is simply wooden panel image, no glaring glows, keep it minimal. Yeah, I agree, keep it minimal. Inside jokes, the stop sign is universally recognized, so there's no confusion. Makes sense. Emotion and consistency, his expression is mildly playful, confused. Yep. Image quality and resolution, looks reasonably high. Yep. Curiosity and readability, good contrast with white text and darker areas. That's true. Just be mindful that the text isn't covering the subject's face. Good. Spacing, reasonable spacing away from the edges. Context, the piano. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remake this bad boy, and then I'm going to break down my decisions. So first thing we do is we just see what works on his channel. And as I said earlier, it's just the top of the keyboard. I also know this niche, so I know that top-down shots from pianos work. So all I'm going to do is that. It's going to be boring. So let's break this down. This is what I've come up with. Not particularly exciting, but I've called it 3 piano warm-ups that actually sound beautiful because yours was too complicated. And then what I've done is I've taken the format that worked and added a spin. So if I was going to split test these, I've got play this. I like never boring, although it's not the best copy. I think I might try this one. Well, the anti-boring is quite good, but these 3 I'd whack in the split testers to see what happens. But looking at them, although they're kind of a bit cluttered, because a piano keyboard is very cluttered, you can't really get away with how many things there are. There's only really like a few parts to this, like the blobs I'm classing as one. They are breaking the rule, there's a lot going on, but it will still work. And you can see how they create curiosity, right? And how the text sticks out, grabs attention, there's visual context there. I think these would perform really well for you. I think you just need to stop reinventing it and just do this every time. Okay, let's move on to our next contestant. Hopefully I don't lose any money. Here we have a channel about getting MBAs. So I'm going to pick on this thumbnail because it is ghastly. It's not bad for views though, to be fair. Man, we can get you so many more views if you fix this. So let's point out all the mistakes with this. Hopefully by now you can play along with me at home. Overcrowding. There's no clear focal point here. Like, why is there shapes absolutely everywhere? You need one clear focal point for a thumbnail. You've got bottom right, bright orange, top bright orange, text, bright orange, dots, you. It's like thumbnail soup. There's just too much floating around in it. Hierarchy and layout. So the hierarchy, what sticks out first? I guess you do, but then the text I can't even read because my eyes are bad, but oh, this orange, cool. Yeah, there's no focal point, like getting our attention, pulling us in. The font, God, it's too small, and that white line makes it harder to read, not easier. You don't need a white line if the orange already contrasts against the brown, whatever color that is, the white line is only really useful if it was on another shade of orange, really, because then it would like appear. So get rid of them. They're called strokes. Oh man, and get rid of the line around you too. That is like one of the worst things you can do on a thumbnail. A stroke, the line around you, right, is one of the highest points of contrast in the image. High points of contrast pull your eyes in. So that white line is like saying, look at me. And it takes attention from everything. There's no inside joke, so that's good. Emotion, I think that works. The image quality, photos high, looks good. The clarity and readability is awful. And you got this in the bottom corner. Why have you got your name on? Is that your name? Like, we don't need that. Like, no one's reading that or cares. So the spacing's all a bit bad too. Now the context is there because you got MBA in the thumbnail. So that actually is all you sometimes need. All right, let's run it through the bot. Hopefully I don't earn any money. Overcrowding in key elements. The background has multiple patterns. Yes. Hierarchy layout. The man's face, main text, secondary text all compete. Yes. Font and text. The font is fairly readable, though you might reduce the total word count in the main text. No, I think you're right there. 5's the limit. I'm going to argue with that one. Use of effects. Gradients, shadows, problem. Multiple box outlines and dotted. Yeah. Bang on. Inside joke. References are clear. Correct. Emotional consistency. Yep. It agrees with me. Image quality and resolution. Yep, it's high. Clarity and curiosity. Background elements distract. Yeah. So spacing and edging. Yep. And then the context. So we're good. All right. So I'm going to remake these thumbnails. Now, the first thing you should always do when you make a thumbnail is go, what worked already? So I'm just going to go to his channel and have a look here. Click on most popular. And I like this. Give up. Now, give up basically means quit. Quit is a power word on YouTube. I might harness that. I think that's given me a really simple idea for this guy's thumbnail. And look, it's top performer. It's boring as but it's a clear pattern in that design, right? It's just like, you just stopped doing what worked for some reason. So I'll see you in a minute when I come back. Okay, so thumbnails. Let's show what we've done. Boring as anything, right? This first one I don't really like. It says get a job. And what I'm trying to do here is make people go, why? Now, get a job. That's probably not the best. And then the red line's crossed out, which is me saying don't get a job. But you know what? Viewers have to think what something means. All I'm seeing when I see that is get a job, so I don't like it. That's going in the bin. This next one, don't get a job. It works really well with the title because it's like, why shouldn't I get a job? And it's super simple. Your quality looks good. The text is popping. Here's another one I came up with. Don't get a job. Just slightly different text. See that? And then I just changed his shirt color. I'm like, what sort of color we got going on here? Like, is black better? Is blue? I actually quite like the black. And then I got the other one with job with crossed out. So if I'm throwing in the split tester, I'm probably going for these three here. And I would probably keep your thumbnails as that simple. The thing is, once you fix your thumbnails, the next thing that is going to stop you making money, building an audience and rocking on YouTube is the first thing that comes out of your mouth. So to make sure you don't screw that up so you can warm people up and build your business, watch this video next as I break down viewers' intros and fix them without giving them some money. And if you want to be on one of these and maybe win some cash, maybe just keep doing this, apply in the link below. I'm going to go transfer $1,000. I'll put it on my community wall when I've done it so you know I've done it.